#1 beat marketplace.
Produced by SeriousBeats.com.
My name's SeriousBeats. I make beats for a living. I'm from Chicago, and I also make drum kits for producers. I got started when I was 10, and I started off rapping. So this was obviously in grammar school, and it was just for fun. And I started to take producing seriously when I was 15. So I basically started by seeing other people do it and then just trying it out, and I just grew a love for it. And in high school is when I really took it seriously, all through high school. I was actually already making beats before, but I want to say in high school is when I really developed and really pursued it. And years after that, I just started doing it full time. So I want to say it's been a good 10 years that I've been making beats. And I just started doing it for fun, and just more and more it started creeping into my life, and I just started making beats, and I've been doing it ever since. Artists that I'm a fan of inspire me, but definitely other producers. When I hear a dope beat, I just want to make beats. So, or if I hear sounds or samples when I'm out, anything can really trigger. Even movies and video games. I noticed early on that video games were a big influence, and it inspired me to make beats because I would hear these dope loops and sounds, and I would just want to program drums over it or just do something. And that's really what inspires me. Also my family, and just the motivation to build my brand and my websites and provide beats for artists, that inspires me. I do it every day, so I'm constantly inspired by those things every day. Basically the sound. So if I have a sample, I'll just load it and loop it. And if I'm playing original sounds, that's where I start. Drums are second, and then the bass line, 808s, anything low end related is always last for me. I basically always start with the sounds first, then the drums, and then the low end. My most important is my computer. So I have two of them. They're both Alienware towers. Alienware is a brand from Dell, and they're specifically gaming PCs, but you can customize them so powerful that they're obviously going to work really well with music workstations and programs and everything. So I would say my most important is my computer, and then next would be my headphones. Because I mainly mix. 90% of my mixing is through headphones. So everything else is just additional. I want to say it's even because I have to create the content. So I spend half of the time creating the content, whether it's beats or sounds or drum kits, and then the other half is business. But I want to say at a certain point, a lot of it is business. Business will take up a lot of time. So responding to emails, I want to say the business probably is the most time consuming, especially if you want to do it for a living. If you plan on making money and providing a service, the business definitely takes up a lot of time. So I try to split my time, but I want to say it's half and half. But I won't be surprised if I spend more time on the business side, if I do break down my time. At the end of the day, I stay motivated because I love music. I love hip hop, specifically hip hop, and I listen to producers all the time. I listen to their beats. I listen to my favorite artists. and my love for it. So, I mean, as long as I'm still in love with the music, that's what keeps me motivated, you know, to constantly create and just build the biggest brand I possibly can for myself and for people that I work with. So that's definitely a motivation. Also, I've been focused on YouTube. Like, I want to build my subscriber count to 100,000. So that's really been motivating me lately. So I think like setting goals with, if you want to make a certain amount of beats a week, if you want to sound design a certain amount of drum kits, setting goals, I think, is what keeps a lot of us motivated, and that's what keeps me motivated. I think consistency and persistence. So you have to constantly make beats every day, which probably a lot of producers do. And then using social media to your benefit. And I think one of the strongest points for an online beat seller is their mailing list. So building a mailing list and having artists basically waiting on new beats, new sales, and just constantly doing things to build that mailing list. So if you give out free beats, let's say you give out 2 free beats, 5, 10 free beats, whatever you decide, but in exchange you get their email. You know, I think always trying to learn something new, reading books like about business, economics, marketing, like guerrilla marketing, even YouTube. So I think the key to success for a beat maker, an online beat seller, is consistency, persistence, building that mailing list, and putting out the best content you possibly can, whether it's videos, sound kits, or beats, especially the beats. I mean, if that's your main focus. So I want to say the best part for me was when I went full time, because that's when a lot of things changed. I went full time at the end of 2012, and I was working for a couple months, just releasing beats, putting out beat tapes on that Piff, selling beats. I had already built a customer base throughout the years, but when I went full time, things changed. Like, the money increased, my awareness to artists increased. I was also hired. I was flown out to Orlando to literally, I forgot what the hotel was called. It was a really nice hotel, and I was paid to make beats. I was paid like $40 an hour, 8 hours a day, just to make beats, doing what I love to do. Everything was paid for, the flight was paid for. So just things like that happening, that didn't happen when I didn't take music full time, or I didn't take it as serious. So I want to say when I went full time is really because ever since then, it's just been growing, and I've just been more happy. Every day, every year, things just get better. I was working at a job that I didn't really like, and you know, I would always see some of the top producers sell beats online and doing what they love to do. So I just decided to do it. I actually got really sick when I was working at my job, and that's what kind of forced me to quit. I always thought about quitting. When I got sick is when I really quit, and I'm glad I did, because now I make beats for a living now, and I don't regret it. And yeah, that I just decided to do it full time after I got sick, and I just never went back to working a regular job or working for anyone. And I don't plan on ever doing that again, like working for anybody. I'd rather just build my own businesses. Really, I just stay true to my sound. while everybody's making trap beats, I'll make the hardest hip hop beats I possibly can make. I try to sample rare things. I try to stand out with my sound, my titles of my beats, the concepts of my beat tapes, just everything. I try to stand out as much as I can. You know, there's some producers out there that have like that hip hop sound, but I try to have like that dark hip hop, Alchemist, A-Rap music, got into a fist fight with Drummer Boy type sound. So, you know, that's my focus, is like, that's how I stand out, is I just try to focus on my sound and not do what everybody else is doing. Because people would be surprised, like hip hop sells. I know pop beats and trap music is very popular, but hip hop sells too. You know, like there's a market for it as well. I want to say YouTube has played a big part. SoundCloud has been a big part as well, because I'm gonna be hitting 3 million plays on SoundCloud soon, which might not be a lot, but for a producer that just makes beats, those numbers aren't too bad. Also, that Piff, I was putting out several beat tapes for years, and I actually invested a lot of money into that Piff, as far as sponsoring beat tapes and mixtapes, and I also got a couple featured mixtapes and beat tapes, which cost me about $1,000 per beat tape, per mixtape, but that guaranteed me a lot of people to tune in, listen, and follow, and hit the site and buy beats. So that's really like the biggest, you know, markets that I touched on, and got a lot of people to sign up and to the mailing list, and a lot of customers. I mean, every time a customer buys a beat, I follow up with them and I put them in the mailing list. A lot of people sign up to the mailing list. So at this point, I mean, I try to use everything: Twitter, Instagram, but all those combined have really built my customer base, and it is still growing every day. You know, at the end of the year, I tend to send out free beats. You know, and artists, they always appreciate that. A lot of artists contact me personally and talk to me about their projects, so I'm always talking to them about it. My customers tend to want new beats constantly, so I'm constantly sending them new beats. So that's it, really. I mean, they always just wait on the sales. They wait on the on new beats. So, you know, they're always just waiting for the new content, and I try to stay consistent. I think you know, having a sale all the time, for artists to be able to afford your beats and want to get familiar with your sound. Also, like having a clean image, so all your artwork should be clean. It should be readable. Your videos should be in HD. And I think consistency is the best marketing tip. And just stay true to yourself, stay true to your sound. What attracted me to Myflashstore was the automated system that you guys have. So the automatic delivery of, once an artist purchases a beat, they get the contract, they get the receipt, they get the beat. And if they ordered a specific license, like a premium or an exclusive, they get the Trackout download link. They get those contracts as well. And everything is just automated. For somebody who does this for a living, it can be very time consuming where you're sending out things manually. So imagine if you sell 50 beats in a day and you have to send those 50 beats out manually. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of hours. But Myflashstore it's one of the best automated systems, automated websites for beat selling. I mean, it's the perfect website for a producer. It saved so much time for me, and it just guarantees delivery to the artist. I mean, it's just helped me in so many ways. The way you can automate discounts, the way you can just the way you can program your sales. So you can sell a certain amount of beats for a certain price, and that discount is applied when the artist adds it to the cart. So it's just made my business so much better, and it saved so much time. It saved me so much time. I used to have to send out exclusives manually. On top of that, I would have to send out the contracts manually, and Myflashstore does everything automatically. I'm steadily growing, and what's next is basically I'm just gonna focus on building my brand as much as I can. One of my main focuses right now is YouTube and reaching into that market. You know, it's probably the most viewed video website out. So, you know, my goal is just to build my brand and my following even more using that platform. It's meant everything. So I basically, this is how I live. This is how I feed my family. This is how I pay my rent, my bills and everything. So it means everything to me. It's my career. It's what I chose to do. And it looks like I'm gonna do it for the rest of my life because I love it. But I'm also gonna go into other business ventures. But it means everything to me because I love hip hop. I love making beats, and now I do it. You know, now I do it every day. My advice to other producers starting out is, if you love making beats, if you really love hip hop, you love making beats, or any kind of genre, you love pop, trap, just stay persistent and consistent, and don't be afraid to fail. If your goal is to sell beats, then focus on that. So don't get discouraged if you contact other artists and they're not contacting you back. There's people that want to pay for your beats. There's people that do want to pay for your services. So focus on those people. Focus on finding those people. One of my biggest advice to producers is do not spam. Just find creative ways of getting people to listen to you. And actually that's what brings the fun into the music and the business and the selling beats, is being creative. I mean, you're already being creative making the beats. So be creative promoting those beats. You know, look for places where you can promote your music, even if you have to pay for it, because in the long run, it's worth it. And you're building yourself, you're building your brand, and just stay consistent, release beats constantly, focus on your mailing list, focus on your website. I mean, that's really, there's so much more I can say, but that's really it for a beginner.